Well, many gardeners are starting to put up their gardening tools for the winter months ahead, and often that includes bird baths. And as you're about to find out, it's very important to leave those bird baths out during the winter months. And joining me to tell us a little bit more about that is Melinda Hickman, who's a natural resources biologist with the non-game wildlife program in the Oklahoma Wildlife Program, or division, I guess.
Right.
Well, Melinda, welcome back to Oklahoma Gardening.
It's good to be back.
Why is it important to have the bird bath out for the winter?
Well, birds need water to drink like they do all in the summertime, but it's real important that their feathers be kept clean in the wintertime so that they can, the feathers can provide the insulation that's needed to keep them warm.
Well, obviously, we don't want them to take a cold bath, do we?
No, that would be awful.
So we have some products here, I guess. Now, really the biggest problem, though, is the water freezes, right?
Exactly. In Oklahoma, and particularly in the northern parts of Oklahoma, freezing is a problem. And fortunately, there are things that you can buy for your bird bath to de-ice, I think is the proper term.
Well, tell us about some of them here.
Okay, there is a wide variety of products on the market, just like with bird feeding, whatever. This is one heater that you can purchase, very simple. The coils are in the side, covered with aluminum foil. Real important that it be a grounded plug. And this will range in pricing anywhere from $9 to $17. There's not an automatic shut-off with this one, however, it stays warm all the time unless you unplug it.
Now, can they get too hot for the water, these heaters?
No, I don't think so. I think the idea is to keep it about 40 degrees.
Okay. Now, this one you really like, especially, don't you?
This is my favorite one, and this was used for keeping the water thawed for poultry. Since a little bit of modifications, has a fin, real important so that you can brace it to keep it from falling out. When you set up a heater, you want to again make sure it's 3-prong, connected to your outdoor extension cord, make sure it's for outdoor use, and just secure your plug to the base of the bird bath, and that keeps it from being knocked out by accident.
All right. Well, now, when we were searching for these, we found that there were bird baths that come with heaters already built in.
Sure, that you just plug in the heating elements in the base.
And I guess a Cadillac would be the solar-powered one.
And very environmentally friendly,
Okay.
and you can get those in several catalogs.
Now, it's also important to match up the heater with the type of tray, isn't it?
That is actually the very most important thing you need to do. Make sure that the heater you purchase is for the type of bath that you have. A lot of these heaters, this one for instance, would not do on a plastic. You could essentially melt it down.
Okay. Well, now also the plastic ones could freeze and break or crack like this too. So earlier in the season we talked about using a terracotta pot, or really ceramic types are better, but the terracotta pot seemed to leak water out quite a bit because it's very porous, so I used a water sealant, has several layers, and that actually seemed to work too.
And it probably will keep your terracotta available longer as well.
Lasts a little bit longer.
Yes.
Now, in addition to watering, obviously the winter months are very popular in bird feeding, right?
Yes.
What about what we call, or you refer to as the high energy food, I guess?
High energy foods are your foods that have a lot of fat in them, primarily for your birds that are needing insects, that kind of energy. Quick energy is what we're looking at.
Now, there's some pointers that you want to share with the viewers about choosing suet, right?
Yes. The non-game program recommends that you go for the suet that you pick up at the meat market is the best.
Okay.
You can call ahead, they can grind it up for you, very inexpensive. However, there are cakes now on the market, and generally they're okay, but one thing that we would caution against is buying the cakes that have seed in it, particularly the white proso millet. Several problems here. One is the fat can cause a fungal growth on the seeds, and that can be a real problem for birds ingesting it. Second, in your backyard feeding area, you want to spread the birds out. That reduces diseases as well. If you have birds that are coming to the suet to get seed, it cuts down, it increases the competition for the birds that are needing just that high energy.
There's some birds that eat just the seed, some that eat just the fat, right?
For example, the flicker here, member of the woodpecker family, requires the suet, the high energy, will not eat the seeds. That's totally useless to it.
Okay.
So recommend the seed being your feeders and on the ground, and your high energy without the seeds.
Okay. Now, there are recipes, of course, to make the soot. We showed how to do that earlier in
Right.
the summer with the summer soot. You guys have a recipe called Miracle Meal, but once it's made, they can freeze it, right? Until
Sure,
they...
you can freeze it in the shape that you want because
Okay.
there are a lot of feeders
Well,
available.
show us some of those
Sure.
as far as displaying them.
Right. Well, you can go real simple with the mesh net for grapes or oranges,
Right.
and just put it into the net and hang it up.
And then the
that's
bird
fine.
just hangs right on the net.
They'll
isn't
get
it?
a grip right there on the deal. And the nice thing is that this is small opening, so they can't take huge glops at one time. They
Okay.
can take, just what they need. There are the wire baskets that are covered in plastic. There could be some problems with the bird feet and
Right.
exposed wire. And then the nice wooden ones that are just made to slide in a square
Right.
shape.
Now, you've really got a neat thing here that looks very natural.
You
That's
bet.
handmade and easy to do, isn't it?
This is one of our favorites. It's real simple, just an old log, and using maybe a 1/2 inch bit on your drill, and go, I guess half an inch, or depending on the size of your log. And you can use the Miracle Meal and just smear it in there, or ground up suet
Okay.
and push it in there, and very natural and easy.
Now, earlier we were talking, and you cautioned against just putting chunks of peanut butter in there because we've seen that being
Please.
promoted. Why is
Yes.
that not a good idea?
Peanut butter, as it does with you, can choke a bird, and also if they get their feathers in that peanut butter, it's very difficult for them to keep their feathers clean, and we know how important that is.
Well, Melinda, what kind of birds can we be expecting to see in Oklahoma? Are there a lot of them that come here during the winter?
There are lots. We're so lucky, at least 200 species of birds winter in Oklahoma. And we have some birds that are more common to backyard feeding
Right.
stations. There are a couple of posters here that are available from Cornell Lab. You can find in the bird stores. This can be ordered from a catalog, and the non-game program has a winter bird feeding poster as well.
Now, that's what's on this brochure here, isn't it?
Right, very popular brochure at this
Right.
time of year on Oklahoma winter birds. It shows the poster on the front. On the inside, gives you more information about the species.
And that's real important because obviously a person is going to feed, they're wanting to know what's out there. And
bet.
it's also important for you too. Why
Very
is
important.
that?
Oh, this is so exciting. This is the 1995 Winter Bird Feeder Survey. It's about time. It starts January 19th, runs through the 22nd. I believe this is our 5th year with
Okay.
the Winter Bird Feeder Survey, and the people participating, the numbers keep going up. Last year, 1,219 people helped us out.
Why is it important to keep records like that?
It helps give us an idea of population numbers, what's coming to the feeders, what they're eating. That can all be very important information.
Well, Melinda, we appreciate you joining us, and of course there's good things to do in the landscape even though the plants are going dormant. Obviously you want to get the bird baths ready, get the feed going, because the birds are a gardener's friend.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.